Good midday, good midday, good midday, good midday to you, one and all. Still the day the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. Why? Because He's a good God. Jemison, thank you so much for being here with us on this wonderful day. 60-degree weather. Ain't that about nothing? How in the world does that happen in the wintertime? Doe, how are you? Praying that all is well in Midland and that the comforting presence of God is there concerning that situation that you shared with me. Sharon, Barbara, glad just here with us on today. Wonderful day. Absolutely wonderful day. Tamika, good to have you. Good to have you. Thank you again. Chaplain Hearns, it's a great Tuesday as well. It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. Yeah, a wonderful day in the neighborhood. And so, with that being said, we glorify the Lord in all that He does, says, and is. Linda, how are you today? Good midday to you. As you always know, just need you to hit that share button. Hit that share button. That would be absolutely wonderful. Minister Sarah, Debbie, Stephanie, Denise, thank y'all so much for being here with us on today. I want to look at something real quick. Make sure I got it all together. Okay, Tamika, thank you so much for sharing. I appreciates that. That hopes me out. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Let me see if I can figure out how to get out of this and go from there. And beautiful day in the neighborhood. Enjoy it while it's here because we don't know what tomorrow might bring. Matter of fact, we don't even know what the rest of this day might bring. Okay. And so for that, we bless His holy and righteous name. Just wanted to make sure that I had all of that stuff operating the way it should be. Um, and so, Debbie, we are glad that you are here with us on today. Yes, yeah. Sunday was off the chain. God moved. God moved. God moved in unbelievable ways, and I am just absolutely grateful. Stephanie Jackson, thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, James, for letting us know all is well. I appreciate it. The great work that they do. Cora, oh, please excuse me for yawning. I didn't sleep that well last night, and for me, sleep is a beautiful thing. Preached about something, and then all of a sudden, it seemed like, but what it was just a little warm, and God was just getting my attention. And I'll tell you about it later. What God is. Elder James, Timothy, Minister Faye, D, how you be? Tell Jerome, not Jerome. Lord have mercy. Tell Tyrone. See, sleep deprivation will mess you up. Tell Tyrone we said hello. Oh my God. Carolyn, thank you so much for being here. Sweet sleep. Don't get me started now. Just got a lot going on. There was just a lot going on. Time change, all of this, all of these things, all of these events, all of this other stuff that's going on. And when I tell you, I went to bed and boom, I was out like normal. And then boom, I woke up 2 hours later. Ain't that about enough? Elder Pam, how are you, Pamela? Elder Pamela, you know that guy, Elder James Mansell. Yeah, I think you know him. Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Y'all good friends, good friends. Ayana, Bobby, bless y'all, sweet potato souls for being here. Well, let me get started. Let me get started. Let me share this with you. The prayer call is going to take a little. The prayer is going to take place tonight. That's what the Lord has placed in my spirit, and that yeah, I'm gonna get me a nap in a little bit, but I need to get through this. Rhonda Fletcher, thank you so much for being here. I gotta get this done. It's so much to be done, but when I tell you, and I can't tell you now, I'm gonna I'm going to share with you. Yeah, the time change got me too. Um, that's all I can say. God is amazing. And the people of God who have participated in this move of God are absolutely amazing. Kathy, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, time change, different stuff need to be done. I woke up too early on Sunday morning, kept going, did what need to. But guess what? It's going to be all right. But again, let me remind you that the prayer call is going to take place much later tonight. As soon as the action banquet is over with, I'm going to make my way because there's something in my spirit, and I am believing that God is going to do great things. Okay, it will mess you up. Lady Bowling, bless your sweet potato soul. Listen, 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 listen. We're talking about the Nehemiah movement, the Nehemiah project, the Nehemiah, and when we looked at it, we saw something fascinating was going on, especially when we looked at the second chapter. Hey, Iris, dear, how are you? Praying that all is well, praying that all is getting better for you. Okay. The power of divine, Minister Sarah. Yeah, I said to myself, because when I tell you, Lavonda and Nancy, when I tell you, and probably one of the reasons that I didn't sleep that well, I'm just so geeked up. I'm so on fire about what God is getting ready to do. It's just, I've gotten phone calls from people. That's all I'm gonna say. Listen, you have to understand that in the midst of the Nehemiah project that's taking place that we're talking about, in case you don't know, we're in chapter 2, is what we're going to look at. And the funny thing about it is that even after Ezra made the attempt to take some people to Jerusalem, and it failed because there was no cooperation that was going to take place, and the lords over those areas would not cooperate with them to allow the walls to be rebuilt, and that Jerusalem in the minds of the enemy would be restored to power. But it's an amazing thing because in the midst of this, the first thing that Nehemiah did, and this is what you have to understand, and this is what you have to see, and I'm really trying to control myself because I'm telling you, Giovanni, dear, how are you? I'm like, I haven't felt like this in years. In my younger years, because it's like this surge of God that's getting ready to take place. And so the first thing he did was he fasted and he prayed. He fasted and before he asked anything. And I'm going to give you this point that I think is important for you to get, Sabrina. Hey, sweetheart. Any move of God always has specific steps. Let me back off of that for just a second because I got it written down backward. God never does a great move of himself except through those who sacrifice themselves. I want you to get this. Let me say it one more time. Pamela, how are you? LMA, dear, how are you? God never does a great move of himself except through those who sacrifice themselves. And when I talk about sacrificing themselves, I'm not talking about killing themselves or anything like that. I'm talking about for this great move of God to take place, Nehemiah had to sacrifice. He backed up from the table. He backed up from his nutrition and he fasted and he prayed before he said one word to Artaxerxes, before he says one thing to Artaxerxes, the thing that he does, listen to me, the thing that he does is he sacrifices because this move of God, Nehemiah does not have the revenue nor the resources to bring it to pass. Valerie, good midday to you. Praying that dad is doing well. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying because you got to get this. Minister Marcia, bless you for being here. You got to get this. If there is no level of sacrifice for the things of God that he's going to do through you, he can't do it through you. You got to I'm trying to, Denise, don't start no stuff about the overflow. Don't you start that. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. You have to back up from something. You have to deny yourself from something in order for God to do something great in your life. And if you think God is going to do something great without you doing anything, it is never going to happen. He never, he coming home today, bless the Lord. He never, ever does a great move of himself, except through those who sacrifice, those who say, I'm backing up from the table, those who say, I'm not going to do some things that I normally do, Katrina Foster. For those who say, I need you, but in order for you to work through me, to accomplish your will, I've got to make sure that there are some amenities that I've been accustomed to doing that have to be put on the shelf because I need to hear you clearly. Now, not only do I need to hear you clearly, I also need to speak clearly because who I'm going to speak to is a million times more powerful than I am. Let that marinate for just a moment. Let that marinate for just a moment. And so Nehemiah's prayer is an astounding prayer. He's the cupbearer. He's the advisor to the king. He does all of these things. And when he comes in, his countenance is different. See, and I've oft-time wondered how people can claim to feel the weight of the pain of people and it doesn't affect them. I wish I had 5 people that caught what I just said. Because when I see the plight of people, when I see the pain of people, the evidence of me cognitively recognizing it is in my face. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm depressed or been out of shape. It means that the weight of the moment is making itself known through me. So he comes in, and Artaxerxes notices something. He notices that his demeanor isn't the same. He's not his normal jovial person. He's not the normal person that he's used to seeing. He's not that. And see, this is where ministry gets muddled and gets confused because we're so busy trying to be grandiose among each other that we forget where the real power of ministry is. It's in the disenfranchised. It's in the disillusioned. It's in the depressed. It's in the oppressed. Laverne, how are you? It's in the midst of all of those people who are suffering and going through stuff. And we pass them by because we just want to show off and be seen by the cameras. And we fail to understand that real ministry takes place where there are no cameras. Any move of God, Sister Thomas, you okay? You okay? Any move of God always has specific steps. That's how you will know God is in it. You will not find any place in the Bible where God has used anyone in any great fashion, where God sticks them out there and does not give them an explicit plan. Ooh, let me say that again. Can I say that again? God never speaks to people in ambiguity. God does not speak to people in maybe I could be. No, God never ever 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 never ever ever speaks in that way. When God gives you a task, he gives you a step by step methodical move for you. Now somebody might say, well, wait a minute, how can that be? Since we walk by faith and not by sight. Now, here's what you got to understand. The faith walk is the fact of you walking in that which has not yet manifested itself as if it has. Oh, gosh. See, faith says, I'm going to believe that whatever God has said, it shall come to pass. And when I get to the point that I need the manifestation of God to move mountains in my life, the mountains will be moved when I get there. I cannot sit back on my laurels. I cannot sit back on my do nothing stool and think that God is going to provide. God is going to move. God is going to do anything on my behalf, because he's not. He gives us more. Before Nehemiah speaks to Artaxerxes, God has already spoke to Artaxerxes through the behavior of Nehemiah. Well, let me talk about this. How many minutes? I got 4 minutes. I got 4 minutes, and I'm going to let y'all go. Here's the amazing thing about this text that you've got to see. After Nehemiah has heard the word of the Lord and heard the word of God clearly, he then speaks to Artaxerxes. And what he speaks about is very powerful. See, it's one thing to say, well, I want to go down to Jerusalem and put the walls together. No, because it takes a whole lot more than that. Oh, the Lord done laid it on my heart to do such and such and such and such. No, it takes more than that. If you ever look in chapter 2, you will see an explicit explanation of what is necessary to accomplish the task. Lord, if I ain't never taught, I pray that I'm getting through to you today. First thing you have to understand is that he asks to go to Jerusalem to rebuild the walls. The thing that you have to understand is that in the midst of that, he needs letters from Artaxerxes that will allow him to travel from Persia to Judah, and that the leaders in those territories will cooperate with him to get the task done. Because you got to remember something. There is no way these people want to allow the Jewish nation to rise up and rebuild and maybe become more powerful than they are. But when Artaxerxes gives letters of permission, not only does that provide a path to get to where he needs to go unobstructed, but he also gives letters because the king owns the forest. So he needs the workers to cooperate in cutting down the trees and timber and preparing the things that are necessary in order that things are rebuilt. You got to remember something here, and you got to get this if you don't get anything else. Nehemiah asked and was granted by Artaxerxes because Artaxerxes says to Nehemiah, what do you want me to do? You need to think about that. And I have been in positions in the short time God has allowed me to be on this side of eternity, to find myself in places where people have said to me, what do you need me to do? I'm going to tell you one right now. We had to move this citywide revival that we have, the citywide tent revival, from where we were to a brand new location. Now, I want you to hear this. Because I had sought the Lord, because the Veterans Administration is going to build some housing or something over in that area. So it's no longer available to us. But just because one window is closed don't mean God won't open another door. I'm not going to tell you where it is, but I'm going to tell you what happened. When the gentleman was contacted where we're going to have the revival, there used to be a school there. And so what's going to happen is, I want you to hear this. The person who is in charge of that property told us, what do you need? Give us the date so we can make sure the grass is cut, so that we can make sure everything is ordered for what you want to do. Bishop Moore, my friend, bless you, my friend. Listen to what I'm saying. I didn't have any property to go to. I didn't know what we were going to do, but I knew God was not going to allow, just because one location is no longer available, that he would not provide another one on the south side. And he did. He said, what do you need me to do? I wish I had somebody that caught what I just said. God will provide, but you have to have explicit steps. So guess what? Prayerfully, the end of July, first part of August, we're going to be in a brand new location, but we're going to be in close to the same proximity of where we were before. But D, first of all, you got to know what you've been called to do. You got to know what you've been called to do is greater than you, but you also got to know what you've been called to do is not greater than the God that's creating the call. I got to go. Listen, y'all be blessed. Did you get that, Tammy? Y'all be blessed. Did you get that, Tammy? Y'all be blessed. Okay. All right. Yes, sir. I got you, Daryl. Good afternoon to you in the 60s today. So we thank God for good weather, and we better enjoy it while good weather is here, because good weather is not everywhere. Don't forget, I'll see you tonight after the action banquet, and then we'll go from there. But I want you to know, and I need to put this plug in here real quick, real quick, real quick. God don't just do that for pastors and preachers. God does that. Okay. God does that for those who hear his voice and follow the plan. Love y'all with the love of Jesus Christ. I'll see y'all later on tonight. May God bless you. I'll have to put it out there as quick as I can, so you'll need to be looking at it for it after 8:30. May God bless you. May he keep you. Gelato, don't make me holler and shout. May God bless you. May he keep you is our prayer.